Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Crisis 169 coming to you with another live stream powered by Spectrum Internet. I am here, you're there. Once again, thanks to my subscribers for watching my videos and and commenting below. Your insight is really helpful. Today's video is going to be about PC building, do's and don'ts. Um, um, the do's and don'ts of PC building. CPU, GPU, RAM. We're going to discuss each one of these, what to do, what not to do, information that may help you a little bit. Places, sources like Amazon, Newegg, Best Buy, a Micro Center. If you have one of those 25 around your area, you're very blessed, very fortunate, by the way, to have one of those places because all it is a gigantic PC haven for PC nerds like myself to run around and hopefully go into. But if you don't have a micro center, you have Best Buy. It's close. You can get to it. That's kind of a somewhat of a small micro center. But anyway, though, PC building do's and don'ts. Really, the biggest thing you need to really look into is you don't want to spend too much money on one typical part. That's the biggest don't. The biggest thing that many new PC builders like myself and I have a brother-in-law and sister build it for me. The biggest thing that they told me I got my first my rig right here I have right now. I had 2060 in there. Was that you don't want to go too short? Okay, you don't want to cut yourself too short. That's why I have a Corsair CX 750 power supply. My rig can go up to a 3090. Size of the case, what the motherboard can hold. The RAM is 16 gigabytes would have been good enough, but I got 32. Good thing I did because the cooler. I'm gonna talk about that too as well. Um, as well, make people understand what it means to do's and don'ts PC building. So you guys won't be making some mistakes like a lot of people have made in over the years. The first big don't of PC building is don't get transfixed on the GPU. I know a couple of UK or Australian type of YouTubers I watch regularly. I can't remember their name. Hardware or something. I can't remember their name. Sorry if I butchered the guy's name. Um, talk about this. Um, talk about this a lot. Talk about it a lot. Talk about how the biggest thing that people do, even Jay's 2 cents in Gaming Nexus, but mostly Jay's 2 cents. We'll discuss the biggest don'ts is don't blow your financial water money on just GPU or CPU. You have to have RAM sticks. You want to get a decent motherboard. You don't want to get a $500 motherboard that's DDR5. DDR5 costs well over $300. It'll come down now, but these are prices back in 2020 to 2022. That timeline. When I got my PC built, it was a different time. So, so I'm using that in some current situations. And then I'm gonna go online here though right now and go to Amazon right now of all places and look at PC build PC gaming and just really getting an idea of what you get into. There's pre-built you can buy. You can buy pre-built. You can do it yourself. There's certain kinds. There's $4,500 a CLX. There's you can do it yourself. There's Alienwares. There's many things you can do. There's a lot of great PCs out here. It has a lot of great stuff. I mean, you can buy a lot of good pre-built, or you can buy graphics cards. But let's say you're gonna buy. Let's say you're gonna do it yourself. Okay. I have a Ryzen 7, so um, let's say 3D and that's $326. Okay. Now I don't have a screen to show you guys this stuff. I wish I did. Trust me, if I did, it'd be nice. If I did, um, but with the Ryzen 5600X, Ryzen 7 5800X, 8 core, 16 threads, and AMD 3D cache, it's good. It's a real good thing. Now you can get a combo unit, 5600, a Ryzen 7 5800X 3D, with a motherboard processor bundle with a MSI MPG B550 Gaming Plus for $539, and you can save some money in that. Or you can go up to 600X 6 core 12 thread at 157. Now, whatever you want to go with is your business. But I'm here to tell you, you don't want to blow your financial wad of money on something that you're gonna not reap the benefits. I mean, now you need a good processor. All the YouTubers that I watch and even message and talk to briefly, they all say the same thing. The processor is the most important thing in your build right now. The graphics card will come, and you can get some, you know, Vega processors with integrated graphics cards built in. You can still buy a GPU and put it in there. But that's something if you say you built that thing in 2020, like I had mine built in 2020, and it was very hard to find GPU. I got 2060. Let's say you don't want let's say you don't want a 1660 Super. Let's say you want a 2060, you couldn't find one. But you got one of these integrated CPUs there with Vega graphics, and you can play a lot of games on it, quite a few games on it actually, but not as extreme settings. Maybe at low, medium settings, we're lucky, and maybe some you can't play at all. But that's something to hold you over. Think about too. But the biggest don't is don't go buying a if you can only afford a 5600X or 5700X. That will run. A 5700X will run decently, but you'll run into that bottleneck eventually. You got to compare. See, the biggest do's and don'ts. The biggest do is what maybe is you have to compare the CPU perfectly with your GPU and your RAM. Okay, if your RAM's at 3200 megahertz, and that's fine. You get two of those. Hopefully, you have dual channel. And everything with me is dual channel. Single channel is fine if you pre-built, but you can buy it. Man, it's Best Buy. You can probably buy it and an extra RAM stick, put it in there. You're fine. Or buy two new ones and make sure it works, and you're fine. But the biggest do you want to do with PC building is when you're buying a CPU, make sure it's equal, greater or equal to what that CPU is. So you ain't gonna go out there and go buy an i3 900 and pair it with a 3080 or God forbid no a 4090. You have some serious bottlenecking going on. Your processor will not be able to keep up. And you'll know it's real. It'll hurt you in the frame per second department, and it's kind of a waste of time. So you want the latest and greatest. If you're gonna buy a 4090, if you're saying Crisis 169, I'm gonna buy me a 4090. I'm set and determined on it. That's what I want. Okay, you're gonna go out and go buy a 5950 or a 1300 900 KS KF or KS. I know from Intel or the AMD latest. I think 5900 or 5600 or 5900 or something like that processor to go with the 4090. So you're going to spend probably well over $4,000 or $2,000. Let's be honest. Let's say it's $2,000 now. All that pre-built crap is usually just color. It's just added crap they add in there. Of course, then you'll probably get an AO1 and an A internal cooler. You'll probably get a liquid cool AO liquid cooler where it's going to just recycle it. And so if you have that in mind, you already done your research. But if you're like me back then, who wanted a 36 Ti, started out but got 2060 because of the issue with the scalper, but also issue with cryptocurrency, it was very hard to get a 36. They got 2060 instead. Anything ran great, but try to pick the right GPU for the market that you're in. To go out there and go buy a 1030, and they have them at Best Buy, is stupid. You can, but if you're going to build it for your brother or for your sister to play, I don't know, Barbie's Dream Big Adventure or Fortnite, I would probably go to, like you think 3050. And that's a little more expensive, but if you're going to get them like a 5600X or 5600G processor, make it worth their while. So they have a little bit of performance. Not a whole lot with 3050, but they're pretty cheap, though. They're pretty cheap. If you want to go balls to wall, um, ray tracing, then you have to go 3060 or above. Ray tracing a little better, 3060 cards, 3060 and above. The whole video on 3070 and 8 gigabytes of VRAM that's down below or around here somewhere. You can watch it if you want to in your guys' leisure when you're at lunch, or maybe you have a way to watch it when you're in the shower or whatever, or shaving or whatever. You can listen to my video about it, and by all means, just don't cut yourself in shaving, because I've done that multiple times. But the point being is this, though: you have to go in your budget. If you're set in your way, if you're dead set in your ways to have a 4090 and you have the money to do it, or you can get the money to do it or get close to it, you might want to make sure that you get the proper CPU. I've watched videos online, people online watching stuff, and they get like a i3 1000 10100F, and it's good. It's a good processor, but they get a 4090 and they have issues because frame rates are not as high as they thought it would be. You have to go with common sense on this. If you're going to buy a 4090, you already know you're going to have to spend some money on the processor. A 5600X might be good, okay, or an i3 10100F might be great, but an i5 or an i7 or i9 1300 13900K will be a lot better. You're already spending close to up to $1,500 on a 4090. Spend an extra $600-700 on a better processor that breaks your bank. Then you might want to take that 4090 and put it back on the shelf, because you need to rethink your valuation of your finances. But it might mean nothing to you, and you have no problem with it. By all means, do it that way. Um, the biggest don't is don't buy the cheapest RAM sticks. Okay, cheap RAM sticks may not hurt you in the end, but you gotta buy ones that are not gonna be there to get the job done. Okay, I have a Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB 3600 hertz. I think it's 16 by 22 by 22 by 22. I think by 16 or 18. Lower the end number, that more fast they know the faster they are. I got two 16 sticks, so I got 32 gigabytes of RAM. That is plenty for what I'm doing with. I started with two 8 gigabyte sticks, and that's good too as well. But know the hertz you're getting into. If you want to go balls to wall to 4090, you're going to have to get probably a DDR5 anyway. But if you want to go 30 series, like I have, 20 series, 20, 30 series, DDR4 is still it. Even though a lot of them are being sold off, Best Buy is trying to get rid of them. But you can buy a Vengeance Pro for about $80 to $100. Know what frequency you want and know how many RAM sticks you need. Dual channel is always going to be better. Single channel, and like I said, though, if you're building a cheap thing for your brother or sister, and it's something that you're going to build, you're going to play Fortnite, and they don't care, or Halo, I would still go dual sticks, even if you get the two fours, or two eights at 3200 hertz. At least you give them dual channel they had, so they don't have too much bottlenecking. Because you don't know, they may get bit by that PC bug later on and want to upgrade to a, let's say, 66 Super to a 2070 or 2080 or a 3060 or 3050 later down the line. Or your old graphics card you might get and think, I don't want to get rid of this. I can't sell the 3070 because it's not worth a lot of money, but I not give it to my burnt sister because I know that Rick will handle it. And you get a whole new 3090 or 40, whatever you get, and that's what you get. And that way, you're not You're future proofing. You're making their rig relevant. Granted, you might have to upgrade the CPU eventually later on, unless you're gonna roll it, unless you go future proof a little bit. But in the words, hey buddy, hey Landon, um, but in the words of my brother-in-law Justin, there's no such thing as future proofing because every PC, my gaming rig is outdated by about 2 years. It came out, I got mine I got mine built by my brother-in-law and my sister in 2020. 2060 now at 3070. The CPU went from 5600X to a 5800X 3D. RAM sticks from 2.8s to 2.16s, same hertz. Maybe another, maybe things 8 to 16, the last number, so it's a little bit faster. But you really have to understand what's going on. Uh, I think the biggest issue is with the CPU and graphics card. People only look at well, graphics card does all this stuff. Wrong. Graphics card takes the graphics, like my video. You're watching my video. You're watching my video. You're watching who I am. You're watching me right now. The graphics card does a lot of that stuff. The processor processes stuff really fast and takes everything and boom, 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 boom. That's more responsible for frames per second, but it helps with the VRAM. Once again, that pesky word VRAM. Um, hey, buddy. Um, what you have to understand the biggest do's and don'ts in PC building is don't get one sided. In Jay's 2 cents, gaming nexus, many people talk about this. Don't get one sided when it comes to, oh, I want balls to wall explosion, ray tracing, blood in my screen, wiping it away. It's like, yeah, it's great and fun and all. But you got to worry about the fact your processor has to process all that fun and explosions with the graphics card. Because even if you're doing integrated graphics with your CPU or processor, you still have to have a beefy one to run all this fun stuff. Hey, what's up, buddy? Thanks for Amazon YT. Thank you. Um, but you really have to set aside a good chunk of money for your processor and GPU. Because, like I said, I have a 5800X 3D. I figured out with 5000X. I went from 5600X to 5800X 3D. Am I going to use the 3D cache? Probably not. But have extra performance, the extra oomph in the trunk does help because it does give a lot better performance than just standard 5600X. But I can't overclock the 5000X 3D. Does it matter? No, I don't know the difference at all. But a lot of the games I'm playing, like Battlefield, games like that, Spider-Man, PC gaming having trouble right now. Some PC gaming games are not 100% optimized. I know with the Joker, NVIDIA AMD has an update every week. I may do there Friday. I don't know for sure. Um, but with the situation at hand, though, we covered the RAM sticks, we covered the CPU, we covered the GPU. Now the cooler. The cooler is probably going to be the most weirdest thing in the world. I have an Arca DH15. It's a huge ass cooler. My older sister, got it for me for Christmas. As well, my mother sister got me the 5800X 3D for Christmas. Um, it's a nice cooler. It's really big for my build. My brother-in-law and sister had to cover up 2 of the 4 RAM sticks. Slots. So I only have 32. That's fine. But it's a big ass cooler. I would have gone with Cool Masters. They had a couple with 6 pipes. This one has, I think, 6 or 7 pipes. It keeps it around 40C, 50C, even with hardcore gaming like Battlefield. Keeps it around 50, 40C, it's about 100, 115 degrees. So it keeps it really optimized. So that doesn't bother me. It's a big ass cooler, I got no problem with it. And I got 3070 right underneath it, and I have 3 fans in front and one big ass fan in the back. So it's cool. But you have to make sure you know what kind of sister, got it. They MacGyvered it in there. And I'm afraid to touch it. And I put a little fan to spray dirt, a little air, spray dirt on it and stuff. I'm afraid to touch the damn thing. Not because I'll break it, it's because it's just a lot of money. Um, she's been good, pretty good. Her and Leaks are doing real well. Um, but with that being said, though, the biggest thing for me I had to worry about was the GPU. Like I said before in previous guys down below, video down below, is that there is a problem when it comes to the VRAM, and you have to really. I'm gonna make sure people know this. Um, that the VRAM is important thing. It's random access memory. What that does is take the image of the game you're playing in areas and loads it onto the access memory and loads it onto the screen. It's almost like having 2 more, 3 more, 4 more RAM sticks into your, GPU allegedly. And what it does, it helps move along the game. It helps stabilize frame rate. The problem with Hogwarts Legends and Last of Us and Diablo 4, Last of Us Part 1, Diablo 4, is that they're A, unoptimized or not optimized 100%, or B, they're optimized, but the 3070 is having trouble with the higher, not refresh rates, but higher quality settings. 1080p to 2K now you just double your frames, you double your image by 2. And you go to 4, you double it by 4. And God help you if you go to 8. Okay. Um, that's cool, buddy. Nigga that's cool, buddy. Go 2 to 4. And that really is visually the biggest problem of all problems. Because you're going from 1080p, where most people are still playing 1080p, but their hertz are mine 75, there's some at 144, some at 240. But a lot of your enthusiasts want to go 4K, balls to the wall, 240, and 3070 is not going to do that on Hogwarts Legends or on Last of Us Part 2, or even in Part 1, even Diablo 4. I've been researching a lot of this. And, and that's what I believe. And that's what I believe that is really going on with the situation at hand, is that we as PC gamers need to educate the newer generation, our families, our brothers, sisters, whoever it is, coming up to get PC gaming built or buy pre-built or build their own, to understand what to look for and what not really pay attention to. You know, the VRAM is important to me as much as the CPU, and sometimes even more, because you have to make sure you have enough VRAM. 8 gigabytes of VRAM not gonna work. 10 is barely manageable. 12 is decent. But you go to AMD side, and they're coming up with 8, 16, 24, blah, blah, and they're just blowing them out. And yeah, granted, they don't have ray tracing. 7 series does have better ray tracing than 6 series. But you're going from having 8 gigabytes of VRAM to 16, that's doubled. And you don't have that situation where you can say, okay, I can get away with 8, but I have to play it down, say, at 4K low. If you're playing a 4K monitor, you want the highest setting you can get, because 4K, like I said, is 4 times greater. Uh, and something that I believe is understandable. People can have that type of understanding. That's why I came from being very angry about is that you got 3070, not even a year ago, and now you have to deal with the fact that it may not be enough when I do upgrade to a 2K monitor or 4K monitor eventually, and I have to deal with that. And that's rough sometimes because we all want the best experience we can, and sometimes you pay in the end. You pay it forward or you pay it in the end. Sometimes we just pay it in the end when we get a card that we think is gonna be great but doesn't work well. But like I said, guys, I appreciate you guys watching my video. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.